Hi, I'm Bob Brucci, and I'm here with Doug Walker and Fred Shinberg. Stay with us, for you are now on the flip side. Effective July 1st, some new laws went into effect. And some may argue that with the new laws, some personal freedom and taxpayer income was lost. Fred, what are these new laws about, and how will they affect us here in the free state of Maryland?
In the free state. Well, actually, as I reviewed some of these laws, some of them are actually sensical, if that's a word. It was in Wyoming, but they make sense. I guess what kind of bothers me is we spend these are necessary, I believe. I'm not sure about doing away with not being able to buy Everclear. I'm not sure what that other than for colleges and universities, it prevents me from being able to make some of my great apple pie moonshine. But for the most part, they make some sense. It's the laws that's been on the books forever that I would like to see purged and corrected.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. There are some new laws that took effect. You know, unfortunately, one of those is a new tax increase on gasoline. Although I will tell you that as of today, I haven't seen an increase in prices anywhere here in Washington County. But you know, I don't know what to attribute to that to. Whether it was anticipated that this was happening and they raised prices first, so we all wouldn't get sticker shock at the pump, or. But you know, I mean, hey, if you go to Weiss enough, like I do, this half cent isn't going to bother me any, because I get big discounts on gas when I'm...
Spend $50, get 10 cents off per gallon.
I spend a lot of money at Weiss. I think I'm going to have to take stock in that. But, you know, one of the things I think as I researched the gas tax increase that really upset me, and it just goes to show you what this administration has been about for the last 8 years anyway. $125 million of this new increase will go to the I-270 Watkins Mill interchange in PG County. And then $100 million will go to the Maryland 210 and Kirby Road interchange. Guess where?
Yeah.
In PG County.
Yeah.
So
It's where the population is.
yeah, and you know, I mean,
we
we in Washington County, once again, you know, we're paying our fair share apparently, because I remember someone said something a couple months ago about how we don't pay our fair share, but this pretty much shows that we pay our fair share for everybody else to get these improvements.
I think on the general level, though, just taking a macro view of, because Maryland is so, how can I put it, so keen and eager to regulate and legislate every aspect of a person's life. This was pretty innocuous as far as Maryland goes most of the time. I gotta admit, for the most part. I mean, the Everclear thing, you know, it's just, that's a little too much nanny state. But in general, Maryland should have one law. That which is not mandatory is prohibited. I mean, that just seems to be where the state is. They either want to regulate everything or make everything illegal. So the fact that they didn't go a little further kind of makes me happy.
Right.
Quite frankly.
You know, and it's funny because I know that we discussed on this show at one point in time about the federal gas tax increase that we're going to be seeing. And that is because, of course, that, you know, we haven't had a federal gas tax increase for so long, but we are also, you know, that transportation trust fund at the federal level is broke. Okay, they have no money, so they have to raise these taxes at the federal level in order to replenish that fund, so that there can be highway projects and things like that the federal government can, you know, hand down to the state government to accomplish and put people to work and do all those kind of things.
But are we not broke in that area as well, the state of Maryland? In our
Well, you know what? We're not broke in that. The point is that, you know, they put all this money, let's say this is a transportation trust fund, they put all this money in a transportation trust fund, and then this is the education fund over here. And then they take this transportation trust fund money and put it over here on the education fund.
Where the casino money's supposed to be.
Right, because the casino money is going someplace else. Right. The problem, you know, and
money's fungible. Doesn't matter what label you give it. You can use it for anything.
I mean, apparently there's no problem with commingling funds in the state of Maryland.
Evidently.
Yeah.
But that's different than the the time leading up to that to the presentation, to the voting of it for our delegates to vote. You know, they were talking about how very specific the funds would be monitored and closed to outside expenditures.
But you know, they are doing some good things when it comes to electric cars and things like that. You know, there's new financial incentives to purchase plug-in electric cars. Again, if the federal government transportation trust fund is broke, but we're going to start using more plug-in cars. I mean, we've done this to ourselves, you know, because of federal mandates. You know, you have to get so many MPGs.
Cafe
You know,
standards.
you have to do this, you have to do that, and then of course, you know, the more MPGs, the less gas you pay, or you buy, and so the less tax the federal government receives from that gas. So it's it's a vicious circle, and
It is.
it's only going to continue to get worse.
What about this one? What about the one? I do like this law. I think it's kind of interesting, and I want to know what the reasoning was behind it. The fact that now that at beauty parlors, that women can have wine while you're getting your hair done. Now, what I want to know is, does it apply to the person doing the hair job as well? You know, because that could get interesting.
From my perspective, your perspective, I hope it does include the operator,
Same here.
the stylist. You know, why not?
It doesn't affect me one bit, just as you can see.
Well, I know that when Jim Miller's wife goes to the beauty parlor, gets her hair done, she doesn't have to have any wine. Have you ever seen the way she drives?
I guess maybe we don't want to. I'm not sure. When I led into this about someone being sensical, and I really meant that. This has a reason to it compared to what some of the laws that are on the.
Oh, yeah,
I
I
guess
agree.
that's the only reason why I added that into that.
I think that though, the thing, for example, with the grain alcohol. On the one hand, Maryland seems to be they're rushing pell-mell into whatever they can to legalize pot and things like that. On the other hand, pull away grain alcohol. I'm libertarian enough to think, and I don't know how this sounds, I don't mean to sound cold, but I don't need the government to save me from myself.
That's the government.
I
Wait a
really
minute.
don't.
Wait,
I don't need it.
That's not true. That's the government's job.
Well, apparently these days.
Yeah, it
but,
definitely is. Yeah.
Unfortunately.
And I think we're going to talk about something similar to that in the upcoming
Yeah.
segments. But you know, this is the first time that I have seen in a long time anything that pertains to victims of crime at the state level coming through as a new law that can help victims of crime.
Yeah, that's a good thing.
Because
for
you
it.
know, we're all about how can we
How can we help
rehabilitate the
perpetrators,
prisoner,
yeah.
and
Right.
make sure that the ACLU gets involved, and make sure his rights aren't violated, and we've read him the Miranda rights, and we get all those kind of things. But we don't care about the victim apparently. So
Right.
it's good to see that we're focusing a little bit on that too for a change.
And one of the other ones, of course, again, not affecting Hagerstown or Washington County, Prince George's County, about the gas heating system in the home, about having the appropriate monitors. And
Right.
again, saving us from ourselves, I guess, but yet, okay, it makes sense, because there'll be some of those that'll walk that narrow line and it won't happen to me, that
and-
kind of thing. So,
Well, I guess you make a point too, in that if I don't have the appropriate device in my house to send out an alarm, and let's say I'm living in a townhome, I'm endangering those around me. But how far do you stretch that argument as well? You know what I mean? It's like the thing with the grain alcohol. I can see a point in that if I'm going to stay home and drink myself into a stupor, that's one thing. But then, of course, if my car keys are laying around, I don't know where that line is. I just know as a libertarian, I think sometimes there's too much safety first and not enough freedom first. And Maryland's bad for that.
Seatbelt law.
Right.
I'm a habitual violator, I'm going to tell you. But I'm in the car by myself, all right?
Right.
I have no kids in the car with me, that I have to worry about, belting in or anything else. It's me.
Right.
And, the only person that will get harmed if I'm in a head-on collision with someone is me.
Right.
If the other person hits me, well, it's their fault. But, the point is that, I'm a big boy.
Right.
I can make a decision whether to click it or not, but,
Again,
the government tells me that, hey, you've got to buckle up.
all things being equal, with Maryland, the Maryland government, the way it's currently structured, with liberals basically running the table, I'm surprised things weren't more draconian, quite frankly. I'm actually happy with what came out this time around as opposed to, and really, a half a cent Gas tax, I don't think anybody pays attention anymore. It's always above 360. It just hurts. You know what I mean? It just plain hurts. That's all there is to it.
I think it's the point more so than the
Right.
actual cost. You know, even though they'll argue that it's been years since we've had a gas tax increase, it's the point, the principle of another tax increase.
Well, that
And,
makes it then what, 42 new taxes?
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh,
In
goodness.
the last 8 years,
So, well,
Goodness.
or fees. Yeah.
we're right up there with Massachusetts. So
You know,
maybe we've surpassed them at this point. I don't know.
I
It's-
didn't realize it was
it's
that
rough.
bad. That's
Well, I mean, we'll have to keep a check on not only new state laws that come out, but the city of Hagerstown, being its own governing body, will pass new laws and ordinance every once in a while. We need to keep an eye on those, just in case. And you probably don't smoke a cigarette, but if you do, you can't do it at the park anymore. We all know that, right?
I didn't know that.
You didn't know that? Yeah.
No.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay. Well, anyway, stay tuned, because when we come back, we're going to talk about the recent Supreme Court rulings and what they mean to our freedoms, rights, and Barack Obama's presidency. We'll be back. Stay with us.
Yeah.
When Scott was just a little kid, we knew something was a little different about him.
So what do you think, Scott?
Well, I was hoping for something with flames, a big block, and a high car.
So it really wasn't a surprise when he opened up a speed shop on Marshall Street in Hagerstown. You can find performance parts at every Mega Mart or .com, but when you buy from Scott, your satisfaction's guaranteed.
And our prices are still as low as my socks. We still have bras.
For your car, of course.
Scott's Speed Shop on Marshall Street in Hagerstown.
The University System of Maryland at Hagerstown provides a convenient and affordable opportunity for you to meet your goals.
I graduated from Hagerstown Community College. I went into the job force and I had 3 children, and I just decided I was ready to obtain my goal of becoming a teacher.
At USMH, you can choose from more than 20 programs of study to complete your bachelor's degree or earn a master's degree.
I feel like I'm finally where I'm supposed to be.
USMH, you're ready, we're here.
It's that time of year again at Hagerstown Honda. The 2014 models are on the way and the 2013s must go. It's your last opportunity to save big with 0% for up to 60 months on every new 2013 in stock. There's less than 300 models remaining and time is winding down. Looking for the lowest payment? Lease the award-winning all-new 2013 Honda Civic 4-door LX Automatic for only $219 per month with no money down. Or lease the award-winning all-new 2013 Honda Accord 4-door LX CVT for only $269 per month with no money down. It only happens once a year. The Honda Summer Clearance Event going on now from the dealer that's making it easy, Hagerstown Honda.
The Bottom Line Sales Event is back at Hamilton Nissan. It's our biggest sale of the year and your chance to save thousands. Get up to $5,000 off on Ultimas or drive for as low as $18,600. Or choose Rogue, up to $6,000 off or as low as $19,200. New Sentras for under $16,000. Over $7,000 off on the new Pathfinder. Frontier pickups starting at only $18,100. But hurry, the Bottom Line Sales Event is for a limited time at Hamilton Nissan, your dealership for life.
These really are the best years of your life, so why not make the most of them at Homewood at Williamsport, conveniently located near Washington and Baltimore. We have a rich tradition of helping retirees maintain an independent social lifestyle. Homewood offers attractive, spacious cottages without any maintenance hassle or headaches, plus a vibrant social community and access to the best amenities and medical care. Woodlands Apartments with up to more than 1,200 square feet of beautiful living space. Now's the best time to look into Homewood at Williamsport. Enjoy worry-free living today and tomorrow at Homewood at Williamsport.
All right, the Supreme Court has recently handed down rulings that have basically rebuked the president's out-of-session appointments or mandates. But none has garnered the nation's attention and opinions like the recent ruling in favor of Hobby Lobby regarding the mandate to provide birth control. Conservatives are sounding trumpets of triumph for religious rights, while liberals are crying out how America is the equivalent of the Taliban regarding women's rights. How can this ruling receive such polar opposite responses and bring forth such venom? Mr. Shinber,
Sir.
what's your opinion?
Well, I want to announce a little disclaimer, of course, because this is so complex that folks need to read the best they can the bill to try to understand it, rather than try to make a snap decision, what you're hearing other people say, because it is very detailed, very complex. And I'm going to be one of those that's going to jump, because I looked at the bill all 100 pages of it. Didn't get a thing out of it except the end. And I believe that it was an appropriate thing to do, that it was about time that the government gets out of our religion and stay out of our religion. And I think that there was an appropriate move for our businesses, for our corporations to be able to run the business the way they feel fit. As we talked earlier,
and it chips away at Obamacare, which is always a good thing.
It's their money. You know, they're the ones that started the business, whatever it may be, small or large. Like we'll use Hobby Lobby, of course. It's their business. They're the ones that took the risk. They have their beliefs, and they should be able to run their business without the government interference.
Well, like you say, right, stay out of our religion, which is a good point. Better point, stay out of our business.
That's the best point right there.
I mean, you know, if the people who are up in arms about the fact that Hobby Lobby now only covers 16 forms of contraception,
right, and not
instead of 20
abortifacients,
instead of 20, you know, then guess what? Create a company, hire some people, hire 50 or plus people, then you can dictate what you want to cover and what you don't want to cover when it comes to contraceptives.
Yeah.
You know, and don't get me wrong, I know that the morning after pill or the uh-oh pill, or whatever you want to call it, Plan B, okay, that has more benefits for some women other than just contraceptive. Okay, I get it, all right, I really do. But I also know that, like with my health plan, all right, apparently President Obama never suffered from acid reflux because, you know, under my health plan, they don't have to cover Nexium anymore. Okay, but I can buy it across the counter. All right, now what does that mean to me? It actually means to me I'm going to pay for a 3-month supply, probably about $8 more than what I'm paying now through my insurance. All right, but the point is that it's still available. Guess what else is still available? Plan B is available over the counter.
You know,
now, it's probably pretty expensive if you got to, and I don't even know how many times you have to take that during the month. But you know, the point is that, you know, this is one time that the Supreme Court got it right.
In the ridiculous aspect of this, first of all, is using the logic. Excuse me, using the logic that was put forward by the lawyers on the pro side of this whole deal. My employer pays me a salary, and you know what? Broccoli's pretty healthy, but my employer won't subsidize my broccoli. So therefore, I can't get broccoli. You can use that for anything.
Right,
you know? And the
well, first of all, I don't eat that. So
that's food that my food eats. But anyway, and also, what puts the lie to the argument in general is the overreaction from liberals about this decision. It just shows that this was less about the drugs and more about this whole law. This part of this law was about putting the screws to religious people and saying, whenever there is a future conflict between what we believe and what you believe, we're going to win. And then they've received pushback and they lost, and they can't stand it. Because this was about subsuming religion is a threat to a liberal worldview of government control. It really is. And liberals, pardon me, conservatism won out on this one, and they can't stand it. And it's for drugs.
I need a little education from the two experts here, I guess. Was this, about the contraceptives, was that not just an EPA? HHS regulation and not actual part of the law?
You're exactly right.
Covered under the ACA.
Yeah.
It was covered under
but
the
but it was established
by
HHS as a regulatory requirement, though.
Are you going with the idea that there's now a fourth branch of government that can do too much acting on its own? And is that what you were going with a little bit?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And that's exactly what
the regulatory state. I hate it.
That's exactly what they've done. Or I believe that they've done, and the steps that they're taking. Well, we don't have
it's
any
funny
control.
because some of the arguments about from the and I'm going to call them the opposing side, which would be the liberal side, on this case, is that, you know, hey, Hobby Lobby invests through its 401k in these types of contraceptives. Okay, and I believe, if I'm correct when I say this, I looked it up, it's like 0.03 50% of their 401k is invested in these types of contraceptives. All right. So let's look at it this way. So you have an employer who provides you medical coverage, who pays its employees above minimum wage, even for part-time, and $14 an hour for full-time people, and matches you dollar for dollar in a 401k, and we want to complain now because they don't want to cover 4 of the drugs.
Yeah.
Right, and then they get the, I saw some of the placards they were holding outside the Supreme Court about stay out of our bedrooms or out of our private parts. Hey, I'm perfectly fine to do that, so quit making me pay for it, for crying out loud.
Yeah.
You know, but if I'm paying for it, then maybe I do have a say in what goes on there. I mean,
well, it's funny because I watched a couple clips from some interviews where people were protesting back when this whole thing began back in April. You know, and this one video, the guy was interviewing people who were protesting against Hobby Lobby, and no one that he talked to knew what this was about.
Right.
No one knew.
Right.
But they were out there to protest anyway.
What does that tell you?
Exactly.
I mean, the bottom line is these people, Hobby Lobby is a closely privately owned company. Okay. So why should government? They take no governmental subsidies. Why should government dictate to them how to run their business?
Right. And again, I'm all about anything that chips away at the ACA. Makes me a happy man, quite frankly.
You know, I mean, they say, well, you know, Hobby Lobby shouldn't be able to tell us what we can and what we can't do and what we can't. But yet, the government mandates that you have to have it. You have to provide your people insurance. Okay, it's a mandate. All right, it's not something, and Hobby Lobby always did. Okay, but now they have to comply with the ACA or Obamacare and its guidelines, you know, because the government says you have to.
Mm-hmm. That's the irritation right there, is that you have to.
You have to.
And for the government to tell you, well, we've already beat this, but for the government to tell you that you've got to pay for your activities in your bedroom, that's got to become a benefit. What about me? I was discussed earlier about me being older than somebody at this panel, and
everybody at this panel.
I
said everybody.
Oh, did you say everybody? Okay. Now, what do my wife and I need something about contraception?
Right.
You know, all right. I don't.
Well, the producer's telling me I got to wrap this up, and I agree with you. So coming up, Fred Schindler.
We could actually go a little longer on this if we wanted to.
We probably could.
Sure.
We've missed some.
Because we missed a lot of the SCOTUS opinions of late.
Right,
so.
on unions and everything else.
Yeah.
But Fred's going to lead us in a new segment about pet peeves, so stay tuned for that.
Pet peeves.
Yeah.
The University System of Maryland at Hagerstown provides a convenient and affordable opportunity for you to meet your goals.
I graduated from Hagerstown Community College. I went into the job force and I had 3 children, and I just decided I was ready to obtain my goal of becoming a teacher.
At USMH, you can choose from more than 20 programs of study to complete your bachelor's degree or earn a master's degree.
I feel like I'm finally where I'm supposed to be.
USMH, you're ready, we're here.
Hi, I'm Mr. CopyQuick. Most people know CopyQuick as the place to go for fast copies. As Mr. CopyQuick, I still do copies fast, but I do a lot more. I do beautiful digital color printing. I also do graphics design. Wow, I was created by my own staff, and I'm so easy to find. I'm located at 710 Oak Hill Avenue, Hagerstown. There's plenty of store-side parking, or you can visit me at copyquick.com. If you want to see how really good I am, give me a try. I'm Mr. CopyQuick.
Barbers Carson Jewelers has been your community jeweler for over 110 years. We have the region's largest selection of diamonds, designer jewelry, including bridal, gold, and silver fashion jewelry, and fine Swiss timepieces. We strive to combine quality, expert personal attention, and affordable financing to create an exceptional shopping experience aimed at exceeding your expectations. At Carson's Jewelers, there's something for everyone that will bring a smile to that someone special in your life.
If you have the audacity to believe that the massive challenge of saving for college deserves more than meager attention from your financial advisor,
If you believe that whatever you're facing, you deserve FaceTime.
Join the nearly 7 million investors who think like you do. FaceTime and Think Time make a difference.
Join us.
At Edward Jones, it's how we make sense of investing.
Businesses depend on technology, and smart businesses are migrating to cloud computing to increase performance and functionality and to eliminate costly in-house servers. With 15 years of experience, over 100 employees, and over 1 million users converted, Planet Technologies has cloud computing solutions for large business, small business, and your business. Reach for the cloud with Planet Technologies.
Everyone has something that just gets under their skin. This is the new and lighter segment here on the flip side, and each panelist will get their chance to tell our viewers just what really ticks them off. And we also want to hear your pet peeves so that we can discuss them in the future. So email or Facebook us with your pet peeve, and we'll discuss the best in the future segments. Bob, out of 300 pet peeves I know you two have, how many can you discuss with us tonight?
I don't know how much time I'm going to get on this, but I'll tell you what I'm going to hit first, and people probably know this. I'm pretty sure I probably talked about it plenty already. Jaywalking. Okay? Now listen, hey, I understand. that at some point in time in life, someone told somebody that cars have to stop for you. Okay? Mm-hmm. That is not true, just so you know. I mean, okay. You know, if you're crossing in a crosswalk, all right, you do have the right, the pedestrian has the right of way. Period. I have no problem with that. Hey, I slow down when that happens and I see it. I don't go. I motion them across so that they know that they're safe to go, do all those things. But when I'm driving down the street, and we'll just use North Locust as an example, and someone is crossing in the middle of the block on a 45-degree angle and walking so slow because they have to, because their pants are down around their butts and their belt's too tight on their legs.
And they can't hear traffic because of the earbuds.
Right. Guess what? You don't have the right of way. I can hit you and it's your fault, okay?
But nobody told you that the shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line?
Apparently nobody. To see, my parents raised me right. They said, son, a 2,000-pound car weighs more than you. Mm. It will win every single time. You know. So listen, even if you're crossing the street in the middle of the block, get across the street. Speed up a little bit. You don't have to, mosey on across there as slow as we can, and then, turn around and give the car who's patiently waiting on you the evil eye because, God forbid, they were coming down the street at that point in time. So, yeah, that's probably almost my biggest pet peeve that really gets me every single time.
Now, I wish we had time for your biggest one now to a degree. What about you, Doug?
That's funny. Mine's related.
Oh.
Traffic related. My pet peeve is, and I just had it happen today, going through town on Washington Avenue, they're doing road work, right? Mm-hmm. If you know for a half mile, you have seen the signs that say left lane closed.
Ends, right?
Guess which driver will never let you in? Yeah. That would be this one right here. Yeah. And if it bums you out, and you're going to lose that game of chicken because I don't care. If it bums you out and you want to follow me to the next exit, I'm perfectly fine to discuss it with you there. But I will never let anybody over who thinks that their time is more important than anybody else's time. Get over, form a single line.
I hear you.
And they don't even wave at you to acknowledge thank you for your graciousness or anything like that. They might wave at you.
The great thing is my wife is the one that drives the nice vehicle. Both of my vehicles are paid for, and I don't care. So hit me.
Yep. Exactly. Well, and can I jump in real quick?
Please, absolutely.
Because along that line, okay, driving, when you're going down a one-way street and there's parking on one side and there's a bike lane on the other side of that street, okay, and you pull your car into the bike lane and put your flashers on, like that means something, all right, because it doesn't mean anything. You're impeding traffic, okay, and then get out and go into a house. What is wrong with you, all right? Especially when, now not right across the street in the exact same spot, but one car length up, there's a parking spot.
That you had,
Okay,
that
but you
had
could
to-
actually park in and then
But
get
you
out
had-
and go in the house.
You had to parallel park though, right?
Right,
In
but you
that
would have
little
to
space.
parallel park or something terrible like that. But you know, I mean, but you know, you can't block a bike lane, and actually, double parking is against the law unless you're a cab, okay? And that's only because the Public Service Commission says they can. But I hate that too. At times I wish that I actually had a rocket launcher in the front of my car where I could blow some of these people off the road. But the point is that, you know, hey, I'm sorry you're too lazy to park across the street and walk across the street to get into your house.
I think the laziness of society in general is another pet peeve, but that could probably be turned into a segment, quite frankly, at some point.
Oh,
But,
yeah.
And it's not just
like taking back grocery carts instead of just letting them sit right there in the parking spot where you loaded your groceries into your car.
And I'm not
Please,
sure
really?
it's based on laziness. I think it's the self-importance that they feel that they're just above that the others will take it, or others, you know, will do it for them, that they don't have to do that, or they can get away with parking there. It's not the necessarily being lazy by park across the street walking. It's the fact that
I don't know. Have you noticed
above that?
I got to say, have you noticed how many 30-some-year-olds are using the motorized carts these days? And a lot of that is that's not medical. That's brought upon themselves, quite frankly. But you haven't talked about yours yet, Fred.
Can I add one more real quick before you go, Fred?
One more. 297 to go.
I know
Go
being
ahead.
the oldest one here, you have a lot of them.
Yeah,
but
I got a little
you know,
time.
What really gets me at times, and it's only sometimes, I have to admit, is that when an administration claims that they are transparent, and then they go into the executive session where the doors are closed. I like that. That's a pet peeve of mine. If you're transparent, be transparent.
Open the door.
Yeah, open the door.
Leave the door open,
Don't leave the public out of the discussion.
I agree with that. That's a good one.
Fred, we haven't left you much. What's your?
Well, you go right ahead. You got 5 seconds.
He gave me his note about not at my age being kind of a social junkie, if you will, a Facebook kind of thing. Grammar, and being born and raised in Wyoming, we didn't know a lot about grammar. However,
what's wrong with that word?
But you're and you are,
Yes.
and we're talking about adults that can't distinguish the difference between the use of them, or there and there. You know, it just that really aggravates the heck out of me, because I see Facebook with colonels and generals that they get in such a hurry they don't. I don't know if they really know the difference.
Read your post before
that
you
is
hit
a pet peeve.
Subject verb agreement, think singular, plural, all that kind of stuff, guys.
Read
Something
your post
like that,
first.
Exactly.
Right.
Anyway, that's one of my big pet peeves.
Oh, man, I tell you what, there was someone who, and I'll tell you what, it was Hogan, had a post up. I'm sure he probably didn't put the post up himself, but the point is it was up under his name, and there was some grammar errors.
People don't take you seriously.
And I said, I don't know who monitors this post, but please edit it. I mean, you know, because here's a guy who wants to make a point, but yet can't go back, or whoever did it, can't go back and reread their post before they hit and send it. I mean,
that's the dangers of, and the hazards, pet peeve. Last one would be autocorrect on Facebook.
Yeah, that.
It makes you force you to read the thing again, and it just how irritating.
Yes, indeed.
And I know
Stay tuned, because when we come back, Doug Walker has some information on the new coalition gatekeepers being formed to help ex-offenders in the area make a smooth transition back in your community. Should be interesting.
Hi, I'm Mr. CopyQuick. Most people know CopyQuick as the place to go for fast copies. As Mr. CopyQuick, I still do copies fast, but I do a lot more. I do beautiful digital color printing. I also do graphics design. Wow, I was created by my own staff, and I'm so easy to find. I'm located at 710 Oak Hill Avenue, Hagerstown. There's plenty of store-side parking, or you can visit me at copyquick.com. If you want to see how really good I am, give me a try. I'm Mr. CopyQuick.
Woodlands Apartments with up to more than 1,200 square feet of beautiful living space. Now's the best time to look into Homewood at Williamsport. Conveniently located close to Washington and Baltimore, we have a rich tradition of helping retirees maintain an independent social lifestyle. Homewood offers attractive, spacious cottages without any maintenance hassle or headaches, plus a vibrant social community and access to the best amenities and medical care. These really are the best years of your life, so why not make the most of them? Enjoy worry-free living today and tomorrow at Homewood at Williamsport.
Businesses depend on technology, and smart businesses are migrating to cloud computing to increase performance and functionality and to eliminate costly in-house servers. With 15 years of experience, over 100 employees, and over 1 million users converted, Planet Technologies has cloud computing solutions for large business, small business, and your business. Reach for the cloud with Planet Technologies.
Here's what our customers are saying about Wolf Furniture's showroom.
The showroom is amazing.
They have a beautiful selection.
Wolf's showroom is awesome. Beautiful. The Wolf showroom is beautiful. Awesome.
Classy. Compared to others, very classy.
Very classy, very unique. And as Freddie said, the prices are very competitive.
Come in and see for yourself our wide selection of quality furniture at very competitive prices at Wolf Furniture.
Arbors Carson Jewelers has been your community jeweler for over 110 years. We have the region's largest selection of diamonds, designer jewelry, including bridal, gold, and silver fashion jewelry, and fine Swiss timepieces. We strive to combine quality, expert personal attention, and affordable financing to create an exceptional shopping experience aimed at exceeding your expectations. At Carson's Jewelers, there's something for everyone that will bring a smile to that someone special in your life.
The University System of Maryland at Hagerstown provides a convenient and affordable opportunity for you to meet your goals.
I graduated from Hagerstown Community College. I went into the job force and I had 3 children, and I just decided I was ready to obtain my goal of becoming a teacher.
At USMH, you can choose from more than 20 programs of study to complete your bachelor's degree or earn a master's degree.
I feel like I'm finally where I'm supposed to be.
USMH, you're ready, we're here.
Okay, so we have established coalitions for many purposes in this community, and the latest is a group of opinion leaders that have taken on the task of trying to reduce the rate of recidivism among prisoners being released into our community. Fred, what are your thoughts on this new initiative?
Well, I'm all for it. I think it's a good plan, local community. It connects with some work that's going on in the state of Maryland pertaining to veterans, which we can discuss at some other time, I guess. But I think it gives some hope for those that have gone over the boundaries and are trying to make good with their life, and they need help from the outside as well. And I think that's what this will serve.
Off camera earlier, you were expounding on this a little bit. You said it was a win-win. Explain why you think it's a win-win.
Well, I think because first of all, it gives some hope to the inmate, and to help brighten their future, gives them some options that they may not feel that they have. And the second part of it is it's a win-win for the community, because the community is more apt to open their arms to the inmate rather than turn a head to him, and they can help govern how this individual behaves in their community, and they have more of an influence on this, and help partner with them for the rehabilitation and their injunction back into the community.
Well, Bob, I know you probably have a pretty good perspective on this, given your background. Let it go.
I believe that anything that we can do to integrate these individuals who have actually been rehabilitated back into society is a good thing. Having said that, the problem is the rehabilitation portion of it.
Right.
It's not what this group wants to do. The problem is, can you, after spending 8 years, in a state institution somewhere, come out and be a productive part of society, or are you going to fall back into the same thing you're going to that you came from to begin with?
I think this program will work if they focus on the prisoners who have, or soon to be ex-prisoners, what have you, who have demonstrated that they want to be.
Have you learned a skill?
Right.
Have you gotten your GED?
Has
What have you
there been
done?
remorse for what
you
you've
got your
done?
AA?
So,
I mean, what has happened while you've spent your time in prison? What have you done to better yourself that you can be a productive member of society?
Right.
The problem is that these people come out and they aren't productive members of society, and they fall back into the same old things that they did before they went away, and usually they're here doing it. Okay, and I tell you, people aren't as forgiving as we would hope that people were. Okay,
agreed.
So a lot of times people will look at an ex-inmate and say, oh, man, I don't trust him.
Yeah.
We're not going to hire him.
And our society, I think a lot of our television programs and movies and what have you, I think that not all of them are as bad as it seems.
Right.
There's certainly,
no, you're right.
they're there for a reason, and I understand and accept that. But remorse, I think, Doug, you mentioned remorse, I believe, or one of you did, and that's got to be key. And I think I have to trust those panelists that are determining the future of these inmates, that they can recognize that there is a sense of remorse from the inmate, and that's the key, the very first step, I believe. And then they come out and they need that help.
Well, and I think for it to be successful, look, like a parole board works. You can kind of judge how a person is taking their time in prison to improve themselves and work motivated themselves to become a better person. If they're going to concentrate on people that are lost causes, the program's not going to work. Right. I guess is what I'm saying.
Okay.
So.
Oh yeah, I agree. I saw a lot of guys who came into the prison system and actually got a skill, be it plumbing or whatever, and then went out to be helpers for our state employees, who would go to the different prisons around our area and fix things and do showers and things like that. And so they, I believe those are the kind of individuals who have acquired a skill while doing their time that can come out and be a productive member of society. Agreed. Because we aren't teaching enough of that as it is.
Right.
And they are teaching some skills in the prison right here in Hagerstown. I think I mentioned earlier about training of vet dogs for wounded warriors, or for training prisoners, actually being responsible for training puppies up through 17 months old. What a great emotional activity they're going through, and but it transfers right over into the community, into their community life as well. It has a lot of merit to it.
All right. Well, I think we're pretty much done with this. So stay tuned, because next up, Bob's going to talk about what's going on around the city and some revitalization projects. So it should be interesting.
Should be fun.
If you have the audacity to believe that the massive challenge of saving for college deserves more than meager attention from your financial advisor,
if you believe that whatever you're facing, you deserve FaceTime.
Join the nearly 7 million investors who think like you do. FaceTime and Think Time make a difference.
Join us.
At Edward Jones, it's how we make sense of investing.
These really are the best years of your life, so why not make the most of them at Homewood at Williamsport? Conveniently located near Washington and Baltimore, we have a rich tradition of helping retirees maintain an independent social lifestyle. Homewood offers attractive, spacious cottages without any maintenance hassle or headaches, plus a vibrant social community and access to the best amenities and medical care. Woodlands Apartments with up to more than 1,200 square feet of beautiful living space. Now's the best time to look into Homewood at Williamsport. Enjoy worry-free living today and tomorrow at Homewood at Williamsport.
Businesses depend on technology, and smart businesses are migrating to cloud computing to increase performance and functionality and to eliminate costly in-house servers. With 15 years of experience, over 100 employees, and over 1 million users converted, Planet Technologies has cloud computing solutions for large business, small business, and your business. Reach for the cloud with Planet Technologies.
The University System of Maryland at Hagerstown provides a convenient and affordable opportunity for you to meet your goals.
I graduated from Hagerstown Community College. I went into the job force and I had 3 children, and I just decided I was ready to obtain my goal of becoming a teacher.
At USMH, you can choose from more than 20 programs of study to complete your bachelor's degree or earn a master's degree.
I feel like I'm finally where I'm supposed to be.
USMH, you're ready, we're here.
Hi, I'm Mr. CopyQuick. Most people know CopyQuick as the place to go for fast copies. As Mr. CopyQuick, I still do copies fast, but I do a lot more. I do beautiful digital color printing. I also do graphics design. Wow, I was created by my own staff, and I'm so easy to find. I'm located at 710 Oak Hill Avenue, Hagerstown. There's plenty of store-side parking, or you can visit me at copyquick.com. If you want to see how really good I am, give me a try. I'm Mr. CopyQuick.
Back in January of this year, the Flipside told you about a new study being done to revitalize the downtown area. Well, it's completed and has been submitted to the mayor and Hagerstown City Council. This particular study, completed by Urban Partners, outlines 8 projects that stem from prior efforts to identify downtown improvements as part of the 2012 Sustainable Community Plan. Within 10 years, this plan is supposed to result in an expected annual tax increase for city and county governments of $1.8 million. Doug, do you think this plan will come to fruition? And where are we supposed to get the funding for this?
I got a great answer. I don't have a clue. First of all, how many studies have we done now? Not when I say we, I just mean as
yeah,
citizens of the
collectively.
county.
Collectively,
Right.
yeah, sure, yeah. 327,
It
I
seems
think,
to be,
and that was just in the last, like, 12
right.
years.
And now at some point, are we supposed to act on one or the other of these particular plans, or is we just going to have more studies? I mean, I'm being facetious, but it's, are we going to make a decision as a corporate body at some point that we're going to move on some of these, or are we just going to keep commissioning more studies? There's just too many studies. I don't know. It's like a Gordian knot. It almost feels like this thing just has to be cut and start over. I'm going to throw it back to you, Bob, as your former role as mayor. Is there too much Section 8 housing in Hagerstown? What's the percentage of it? And what do you think about, I mean, from my studying on this, and there but for the grace of God goes anybody. Anybody can need a hand up from time to time. But I tend to think, and the studies seem to show that when there's too much Section 8 housing, it's hard for a city to grow. And
well, you know, a lot of this study and what Urban Partners has done is they have actually looked at some of the previous studies, okay, and some of the previous plans, like the plan that would connect the downtown to City Park. You know, that was in the American Architects Association's plan from 2007, I believe it was, when the AAA was here in downtown. They came up with this plan. You know, it's a, don't get me wrong, any movement in the right direction is great.
Right.
I don't care what it is. But, you know, I think you hit the nail on the head. I think what we're going to do is continue to develop a plan and then not be able to pay for it and not be able to move forward. And so then what happens is that you create more of what you don't want.
Right.
And that's just the way it's going. It's not going to change until we actually take action and do something. And by take action, and it's funny because back when we had the big stadium controversy of 2012, you know, I said at one point, I just said, tear a building down. Tear one down. Okay, on West 18th, just tear one down. Tear it down today. Just go get the permits, get it done, tear it down. Because that's action. Okay? People will see that and think good things are coming. All right? But we didn't do that. Okay? And now the city does actually own a building that was burned out and on West Antietam Street that they could tear down today.
Right.
And they haven't done that yet. But the sidewalk's been closed for a year, and anybody else would have been fined and in court and probably in jail by now. But, you know, since the city owns it, they aren't.
Right.
But the point is that you've got to take some action. You've got to do something. You know, we were looking for private investment to happen when we talked about a downtown stadium. You know, it was my contention all along is that I don't want you as a private investor investing in the stadium. I don't want your money for the stadium, because the stadium is going to be owned by the city of Hagerstown and be a tax-free entity. Okay, we're not going to pay any tax. All right, so I don't want your investment there. I want your investment every place else in downtown, where you're going to help me increase my tax base to help pay for things. You know, so you know, the city, county, state, and the owner was going to privately finance the stadium, and the investors would come in and do everything else around the core, which raises the tax base and increases our revenue to pay for things.
Fred?
Well, and it makes, you guys make sense. As an outsider from downtown, basically, a little action. We've had the light plant. You know, there's just so many things that just something, and I have to agree with Bob, is that I sit there and I read these studies, and then 2 or 3 members of the council, they, you know, it costs a couple of dollars, and oh, woe is me, we can't spend the taxpayers' money for that. And it just, nothing happens because they're afraid of being political correctness. I guess we've discussed that off camera.
Or paralysis by analysis, which is what we do all the time.
But you got to do something.
Well, I mean, and the thing is, it is doing something for political leaders a lot of times to just commission more and more studies. Let's face it. Who was it that said, if you absolutely positively want nothing done, form a committee? You know, and I just feel like these studies are sort of like an analog to committees. And again, getting back to what I said at the beginning about it being just a knot that you have to cut, you can connect the greenways like you were talking, Bob, all you want. But unless people feel safe using those greenways, and when you have a town, and forget Section 8, just if you have a town full of renters, you need a town full of owners is what you need. And gentrification, to me, I think that's a good word.
And you're not going to get a town full of owners until you can make it difficult to be a bad tenant and bad person. And we'll just use the A&A district as an example. And the way to address that is to institute a zero tolerance policy where, you know, we're not going to stand for certain things. We may even, they could put in some kind of civil citation that addresses behavior on the street, you know, where you don't stand on the street and holler at the guy who's in the apartment across the street at the top of your lungs and cuss and act like an idiot. You know, I mean, because you're going to get a civil citation, which means we're going to hand you a ticket for $50, and then if you don't pay, we're going to lock you up. All right? Or you institute the zero tolerance policy that enables the police officers to take people into custody. Like, you know, such things as littering. Littering is an arrestable offense in the state of Maryland. So if you're standing out on the corner and you may be an undesirable type of person, okay, we'll just say it that way, and you're smoking a cigarette and you throw it down and a cop sees you, he can arrest you. Now, do I think that's fair to you? Probably not, all right? I think you should be given the benefit of the doubt to pick that cigarette up. But arrest you, at least get you in, book you, be able to run you through NCIC, and to see, especially if you're of no known address here in the city of Hagerstown, see if you're wanted in Florida or New York or Ohio or whatever, and then hold you over for extradition. And that gets you off the street. Now, will you stay off the street if you're not wanted? No. The court commissioners are going to come in at 3 o'clock in the morning and kick you out, okay? And the judge isn't going to prosecute it, and the district attorney's not going to prosecute it and waste his time.
The first house that I owned was in town, in the historic district. And there, before we sold and moved out of town, I had a personal policy of any time I noticed, no matter how small it was, anytime I noticed any graffiti on the block at all, I'd go get the paint matched and I'd paint it over myself. Simply because you let that stuff go, and it's a wide open sign that, hey, crime's allowed.
The broken window theory, and our downtown suffers from that. Again, I'll use the city as an example. You know, if you're a landlord and you own a building that is vacant, you can't have plywood up at your windows. It's against the ordinance, okay? You'll be cited. But the Midtown Motel at the corner of Washington and Prospect has plywood up in the windows, and the city of Hagerstown owns that building.
Okay.
Now, if you're going to, and that's one of the things that I had a problem with my code compliance people when I was appointed back in 2006, I said, listen, if I get a phone call from some angry citizen who complains because they were cited for grass in their sidewalk, I'm going to ride around. We better not have any grass in our sidewalks anywhere, because we need to police our own before we police everybody else. Sure. So, and we could go on about this.
Sorry, Fred.
For a lot. Sorry, Fred. Yeah.
Great. Great.
But you know, I mean, we're looking to get, you know, there'll be $125 million worth of investment. 85 million of those funds are anticipated to become from the private sector. That's a lot of money. Anyway, we'll be back after a short break for the panel's last call. Please stay with us.
Businesses depend on technology, and smart businesses are migrating to cloud computing to increase performance and functionality and to eliminate costly in-house servers. With 15 years of experience, over 100 employees, and over 1 million users converted, Planet Technologies has cloud computing solutions for large business, small business, and your business. Reach for the cloud with Planet Technologies.
These really are the best years of your life, so why not make the most of them at Homewood at Williamsport, conveniently located near Washington and Baltimore. We have a rich tradition of helping retirees maintain an independent social lifestyle. Homewood offers attractive, spacious cottages without any maintenance hassle or headaches, plus a vibrant social community and access to the best amenities and medical care. Woodlands Apartments with up to more than 1,200 square feet of beautiful living space. Now's the best time to look into Homewood at Williamsport. Enjoy worry-free living today and tomorrow at Homewood at Williamsport.
If you have the audacity to believe that the massive challenge of saving for college deserves more than meager attention from your financial advisor,
If you believe that whatever you're facing, you deserve FaceTime.
Join the nearly 7 million investors who think like you do. FaceTime and Think Time make a difference.
join us.
At Edward Jones, it's how we make sense of investing.
Each week during this segment, we give each panel member a chance to say what's on their mind. Doug, what's on your mind?
Well, I just wanted to say, coming into July 4th weekend, you know, don't say Happy July 4th. Say Happy Independence Day.
Exactly.
It matters. It matters not only for our country, but it matters for you, all of us individually. We're free. We're independent. Don't fall into the trap. If you are in the trap, get out of the trap of being dependent. This is America. You can make your way here. So Happy Independence Day, and that's all I got.
Land of the free, home of the brave.
Very good.
Yes,
Thank you.
indeed.
Still.
Bob, what about you, sir?
You know, I want to touch base on the primary election that just happened here in Washington County. You know, I realize that everybody is busy nowadays. Everybody has things they have to do, whether it's kids or work or both, or, you know, a second job or whatever it is, or commuting for your job. The polls were open 13 hours. Please, how can you not find 5 minutes to vote? 16.5% of the registered voters in Washington County cast a ballot on primary election day.
Pathetic.
16.5. And here's the funny part. All those people, those 83.5% of the people who didn't go out and cast a vote, you need to sit back and be quiet. Because, you know what? You didn't take time to go have your say in government. So sit back and be quiet when government's doing things to you that you could have had a say in. But you didn't do it. You didn't take 5 minutes and go vote.
This is another pet peeve segment for you.
It's a huge pet peeve.
Absolutely. Well, thank you. I just want to take a real quick moment to acknowledge the advancement, promotion, if you will, of a female, senior female in the military. For the first time in history, the Navy just promoted their very first female four-star admiral. And it's about time. They're finally following the Army, who had their first in 2008, and the Air Force in 2012, and now finally the Navy has their first one. And what's unique about this admiral was, if you remember back in the days when the pirates captured the Maersk Alabama ship, and Tom Hanks played the captain. She was the leader of that task force that was able to rescue that ship and led the SEAL team to do what they did the best. So it's quite a very historical opportunity, and just shows that there are possibilities for women, even in the Navy, being an Army guy. And it's just pretty good from my perspective. Thanks for joining this week. From our panel, producers, sponsors, technical support personnel that bring you the flip side, we look forward to visiting with you again and getting you in on the flip side. Thank you.